We want to switch the camera.
We don't want to do it backwards so we can see the framing.
Better left one.
It's better on the, this way, yes. What I really can't figure that really drives me crazy about people who post online is their videos are backwards.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's really easy not to have happen, especially on an iPhone.
Yeah.
There's a setting that.
Yeah.
All right, I can only get the two of you guys in there.
What if you park a seat, pull a seat up here?
Oh, yeah. You can see the Hollywood Lounge perfectly between the two of you, and now they can see my fat head.
So there's no sense having one.
Move the little box closer to you.
All right, let's put it right. How about we just put it right here?
Oh, good idea.
Are you going to be able to hop over that thing and get that?
Yes.
Okay.
I will be able to hop over it. Did you already turn the recorder on?
No, unless you did.
I did not. I was getting ready to, and you said, should I start it up?
Just remember how many times we've not hit the record button enough times. There it goes. I see the numbers are moving.
All
so
right,
same with you. Don't.
Well, put it down there.
You want? No, we need to catch us all here.
Okay.
And I've got the front back mic set up going. So
surround sound.
Yes.
4-channel surround. All right.
Pick you up and hopefully pick us up.
Okay.
Sort of all right.
All right.
Now, there's no reason you can't order and go get food or drink.
Well, what would you guys like?
I'm okay with just a Coke, to be quite honest.
Coke?
You getting beverages?
I'm going to get some beverages.
Where are you going to get them from? Right over there?
Right over there.
Then Coca-Cola would be awesome.
Coca-Cola. Okay. I shall return.
All right. So are you going to make a post to
right now.
MiceCast?
Yes.
Okay.
After I wipe the snot
off your nose?
Off my nose. Because you want to be snotless.
But so far, this is compelling.
It's standard for us.
Podcast.
Standard for us. No podcasting yet. All right.
That is true.
Got to get to the correct account. All right. So, add. Streaming. I'm going to do with excitement. So live, all caps with a two. All caps. Two exclamation points. But you need to go. All right, HTTP. Go ahead and start with your assessment of.
Do the intro. Just get.
Oh yeah, you're right. I should probably intro. Okay.
Well,
do you want to wait for Richard to come back, or you should put out the text first? All right, let me put out the YouTube.
Richard's our semi-permanent guest. He wasn't part of the original crew of MiceCast.
Semi-permanent guest. / at. I like the handles now. I like the fact that they have the handles.
I haven't. I'm supposed to go and set up handles.
Well, you have.
Did I do it?
Yeah, that's at American Landscape.
Because there was some other thing I was supposed to be able to do something with the URL, and I did that, and it still shows a bunch of numbers, and dashes, and weird stuff. So
to watch.
Well, for those who may have popped up on this stream from the American Landscape.
Let Richard check it when he comes back.
Yeah, American Landscape / MiceCast live at Disney's California Adventure.
Because not enough of you friends of ours have subscribed
to our MiceCast. Yeah, we tried to go live on MiceCast, and
we haven't met the requirements to go live mobilely.
Yeah, but luckily the American Landscape is doing well enough to get that, but not well enough to monetize very much. I think I've made $28 on a couple videos.
Nice.
Yeah, might buy us lunch somewhere.
So we're here in California Adventure.
Yes, we are in what they used to call the back lot.
The back lot area.
Which is half abandoned. We're sitting next to
a big giant empty.
Stage
12.
It was a restaurant first.
It was a restaurant first, and Flynn's Arcade for a while.
Arcade, yeah. And now it's
And now
empty.
it's just an empty place.
Well,
Nice.
have to ask Richard. They used to do some training in there for chefs.
We're in some comfy lounge space here.
Yeah, and there's an adult beverage joint behind us. But it's also, I'm going to just call it frou-frou adult beverages. I don't know why, but everything at Disney here now has to have a frou-frou level on it. It just can't be a beer. It's got to be some weird
no,
beer.
the food truck has beer.
Oh, does it? Okay, but the
it's all
lounge,
it's all IPAs now.
like the margaritas. There's no Cadillac. There's no strawberry. It's mango twist, macalata. Something.
Macalata's not beer.
I'm just kidding. That's why I've got my Knott's Berry Farm T-shirt on today at Disneyland.
Stick it, poke it in the eye.
That's right.
We will say that we're Shaft's guests. The Walt Disney Company, in celebration of their 100th birthday, gave out 2 free tickets to all their employees, with the caveat that, one, they had to be used within the next 5 weeks. They expire. They expire tomorrow, and the customer has to bring you.
Yeah, so, and I would just want to use my pass because I have a pass again. First time in, a decade maybe since I've had a pass, and Richard was just all insistent about doing it. Anyways, we're here. We've got on his passes. We got here 4-ish.
Well, almost 4:30 because
we parked by 4.
10 past 4, we left the garage.
We walked over to downtown Disney.
Got in just in time for flag retreat.
Yeah, we started at Disneyland. Oddly, though, Mike has had some experience with these tickets and had no problem that the cast member wasn't right there flashing their ID. This time, they made sure Richard was there. And when
proper product placement.
Oh,
yeah. I would never.
Thank you.
Go to such a level where I would say
100.
A refreshing taste. And what was that? That old Mike Meyer. What was that one? That movie?
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World, where he's going through the whole.
Oh yeah.
So
check. Before you get too comfy, see if there's any viewers, or we're just talking to ourselves like normal.
How would that be any different?
It really wouldn't be.
It doesn't say anything.
There should be a little. Do you see this stream? Do you see us on camera, or is it dark?
I see on camera. Yeah.
There's little eyeballs up in the corner. Have a number next to it.
0.
0. All right. Yes, we're off to a rocket start.
So, anyways, we got into Disneyland, and we'd been in there an hour, maybe.
We weren't there. We watched Flag Retreat and left.
True. And but anyways, we went to DCA because with the new park hopping
no chat
rules.
on the channel.
What?
Matt.
On my channel?
No, we told no chat.
Oh.
I'm answering back. No chat because we are out in front of the camera. But
he can chat right through there if he wants.
Oh, yeah.
Or go to WhatsApp. We should create a WhatsApp thing.
Oh, yeah, we should. Put that on the to-do list.
Anyway, so, now the old park hopping rules, you had to, wait a few hours or whatever. But once you got past that 11 a.m., which is the new park hopping hours here at Disneyland, it didn't matter. But when we came into DCA, they had a lock. It said, lock at Disneyland.
Is that a booger hanging out?
No.
No, did I tell you something?
I don't know.
That's quite all right.
Oh, Matt. Well, okay.
What does Matt say?
He said he'll monitor. We shut it off. Nothing to monitor. Wait.
Oh, he was going to monitor the chat?
Hey, I'm going to ask him, how do we sound? This is also compelling TV.
Yeah, we've got or Mike bought a new speakerphone device we hooked up to the phone.
$30.
So new equipment, new tryouts, that kind of thing.
Just send them a picture.
No rehearsal, no practice. Our usual routine.
As usual, yeah.
Prumpa has been.
It's not Prumpa, it's Esquire.
Oh, it's Esquire. Again, another long-term, loyal fan.
He says we sound fine. Not perfect, but fine.
Good enough, huh? Is it background noise?
I don't know.
Or is it just, we're a little bit away from a speaker? Anyway.
We're here.
So we got,
go ahead, because I have something to add.
Yeah, after we potentially almost were locked out at DCA because maybe we hadn't been in Disneyland long enough. Again, rules that are ever changing, never quite clear. we told her, oh, we've been on Disneyland like a couple hours. She's like, oh, okay, where's your cast member? She had to scan my past 3 times that Richard gave us, and I was able to tie it into my
background isn't loud
my
at all.
app. Oh, good to know. So, anyways, we're here. Dare we talk about probably the worst flag retreat I've ever seen?
Well, before we go there, I want to also mention that the stream is so much easier than it was when we tried this more than 10 years ago. I said 10 years, 2013. We would stream before then. Ustream, owned by IBM now, not a free thing.
Oh, really?
Can't Ustream. We would have to hotspot. We'd have to bring microphones. We had to bring laptops.
That's what we did when we were at Flo's.
We had to do. Well, no, the second time I did it from my phone, but I added the sound afterwards because the sound was crap, and it wasn't live. We just recorded it. We synced it up.
Recorded live, or recorded in front of the live
audio.
Yes,
that's right.
But not.
Now, if you have zombies, would be recorded.
Push was there. We were there. It seems like there might have been one other person.
But anyway, so now it's super easy. YouTube, go live, and off you go. It'd be awesome. We have more subscribers.
Well, you can go live on Instagram. We've done live on Instagram at Knott's a few times, the wife and I. But it's usually,
It's Instagram.
Facebook can do it too. It's Meta.
It's either Google. You either pay the Google overlord.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Or you pay the Meta overlord.
Okay, while we're sitting in here,
we have another channel on YouTube, the American Landscape TV.
That's what we're on.
We're on American Landscape.
We are on American. I thought we were on MiceCast.
MiceCast wouldn't let us go live. Wouldn't let us go live mobily.
So we're live on the American Landscape.
And this is where we have our show too. So the regular show.
So if there's anybody who's an American Landscape follower, this road trip is not too far from our house.
Yeah.
But we're sitting here in what I think is kind of a defunct land, has no identity anymore. Hollywood Backlot, which is it even called Hollywood Backlot anymore?
Still Hollywood Backlot.
I think so.
There's no sign when you come in. There's no indication where you're at. We're sitting next to an empty building that at one time was a restaurant that had, I believe, like multiple different types of cuisines.
Little sets.
Yeah.
Little sets. You sat little sets.
And then, when they were doing Tron, it was Flynn's arcade, a small portion of it. Then you said they were training their chefs for a while in here.
Right.
The kitchens are still in there. What's going on?
Now you got dressing rooms in there for the Disney Festival Arts, or what used to be called Metro Music Case. Well, we have high school bands come to visit. This is where they can dress there.
Oh, they don't do it. Oh, well, that
building's gone.
That's where Galaxy Quest is right now.
Festival Art Showcase. No, it's where Mickey's thing is.
No.
I thought it was where Galaxy's Quest is.
The Community Art Showcase building is where Big Runaway Railway is down.
That's right.
Oh, well, before that, it was over by Galaxy Quest,
okay.
I think.
No, that was the ranch.
That was the
farm.
And then there was the ball parking lot. And behind that was a building the bands used to gather at.
But that was another side.
No, that was directly behind the ball, or the Winston Gate parking lot.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about now.
Where we had the guest bands come through Winston Gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
amazing. I know.
That's going back into the mid-'90s.
I go way back. Yeah. Way back.
It's funny how your memories are frozen in time,
last century.
Yes.
Well, his especially since he hasn't been here.
That's so 20th century.
Yeah.
So anyway, we did go to the flag retreat. Mike wanted to go. I
haven't seen it in a while.
I was surprised by a few things with the band.
I enjoy the band. I enjoy the music.
I'd never seen a female director for the Disneyland band. Their uniforms were a little different. They've been like that for a while.
They were blue and white. Yeah. And we've had female band directors.
Blue and white, but
we've had women in the band for a long time.
I know there's been women in the band. I mentioned something to Mike. You didn't hear me, probably. Remembering back to high school when we used to get critiqued, like the Monday after our show, halftime show. Now, we were styled after Drum and Bugle Corps, so our director could be kind of a dick sometimes. And, in fact, it wasn't his name Bob or Robert.
Yes.
Yeah. And I remember one time, I'm enjoying the music. I'm in the drum line. And he called me out as
having too much fun.
Yeah, you're not a soloist, so you're supposed to stand there stoic and still. And I was watching the bass drummer was kind of, and even the cymbal player was, a little bit. Most of the band, and also noticed they all wore tennis shoes. Back in the day, they used to wear a nice white
marching shoe. That's on a dress shoe. It had
what do we call them in the service when you have the shiny shoe?
core frame.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Just a little quarter.
Yeah, but that was all okay. It was interesting, a young band, some dapper bands. All that was great. Actually, the band director was kind of attractive.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you notice the one Dapper Tan when they were requesting military service, the one did step forward?
Army.
Army. Yeah.
And a tuba player stepped forward as an Air Force weenie.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that's why he stepped forward. No, not the tuba, the dapper.
Dapper, yeah.
What I found, one of the drawbacks, if you already were going to come up into the circle, when you hear, is that Mark Summer or that announcer? Is that the old?
It's Corey Burton, right?
Is it Corey?
No,
Burton?
I don't think so. I think it's
well, whoever it is, he's been a voice for a while. When you're up in the circle and the band's playing at you and they're pointing, their COVID breath is being spittled all over you. You can't hear him, so he's telling you to move forward or do something. Can't hear a word he's saying because the band is like blasting in your face.
Well, first I pointed out the fact that we are directly in front of the band.
Oh, I know.
The horns are blasting directly at us.
That's what I just said.
Yes.
Except I colored it up with the COVID spittle and stuff. But yes, exactly.
I try to remain accurate.
Let's not talk about frog DNA right now.
Do you have a point?
Yes.
Are we going to get to the point?
Yes. I was trying to say that was all great. He started in a repeat cycle. Security just isn't what it used to be.
But I knew that's where he was going.
3 young guys. Oh, no, there was one old turd. You get to the point, and I was going to ask you, I noticed at first you didn't salute. And I noticed some of the other guys take their hats off to do this instead of this.
Okay. Here's my issue.
Okay.
The Navy, you don't render a salute if you don't have a hat on.
So that would, and I agree, and I don't think you still should have. I think you should have done that.
I won't do that. I'm not a civilian. Civilians do that.
Okay.
So you see my quandary, right? So I glance over, and there's 2 dudes here uncovered.
Yeah.
Because the Army, they'll salute indoors without a hat on.
I know.
So I'm thinking, okay.
It's the Army.
I think, all right, I'll do the Army way, and I'll put my. But I was sitting there. It was an internal struggle.
So we've got a couple guys in my veteran group who are into the anal rules. They get the flags, whatever. I guess, according to one of them, a few years back, there was a directive from on high or wherever that says any veteran with a cover on can salute. Because in the old days, like if you're at a baseball game, what I usually did this, right? Yeah. So anybody, but you didn't have a cover on, and you didn't have your beanie on.
Yeah.
Now the guy with the fedora, I would agree.
He should have popped the salute.
It's a fedora.
No, it's actually a Stetson.
Was that? It looked like
looked like a Stetson to me.
It didn't look like a cowboy hat. It looked a little more. But it still could have been made by Stetson.
I don't know, but
anyway,
point is, the Army still wears Stetsons. The cavalry still wears Stetsons.
That's true.
Anyway,
okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Quick little side
note. Standard tangent.
So they bring down the flag fairly well. That's not too hard to mess up.
Yeah.
These guys couldn't have folded their way out of a wet paper bag.
They had the flag twisted.
Oh my God!
And they were trying to untwist it opposite each other, so they're twisting it more.
And in my mind, all I could think was, this song is not going to last forever.
Is that the finish?
They're on a timer, and they're like,
so playing the Stars and Stripes forever, right?
And they finally get it, and then they reopen it up like the shoulder flag. Now I've never seen that done before. The guy that started it didn't really keep it very taut.
No, neither one of them were very
No, it was a pretty. At this point, I think it was a speed show.
Obviously, they're in a rush.
And then they got to the end, and he realized the length wasn't right to tuck, and he backed off one, and then the other guy just balls it up, and he's like shoving it in there, like fisting the thing. And
while they were untangling, I'm thinking, please don't drop it. Please don't drop it.
Yeah.
Please don't drop it. Whatever you do, don't drop
it. And there was some kind of like entertainment person or something like right through there. I'm like evil line or like what the fuck. Yeah. And then they do the American flag. Not much better.
In the California flag.
I'm sorry, you're right. California flag.
I will say
it wasn't twisted. but it was a little loosely rolled, and the guy started with a flap.
He did start with a flap.
Before the.
Yeah.
But I will say something that we learned when we were doing the flag retreat is when you gather the flag, when you're the person that they're passing the flag onto, the first thing you do is you grab those two outside corners and bring them together so you know where those are supposed to go.
Yeah.
And then you bring the two inside corners, the two grommets together, so you don't have that problem of trying to twist that. And I know
we were never taught that when I did retreat. It was just kind of common knowledge. This is what you did to, you know.
Maybe they've actually finally put it up for.
They did it point.
They tried it to, like Ernie, who caught a lot of flack and a lot of following online, doing things that were outside of the protocol.
Well, he would say thank you for your service to everyone standing there, give them all a salute.
That was nice. That was nice. But the thing about like touching the flag, I'm like, I don't worship the thing. You know, he had some little things like that he was going beyond. And I told some of my friends who are Marines, like Ernie, and they're like, what the? Because they all, you know, they've seen him here, they've heard stuff online. Ernie's just a great guy at Disneyland. But I tell them some of the stuff he's doing, they're like, is he losing it? What's wrong with it?
And the biggest problem was all those little things were adding up time, causing it to go longer and longer. It was literally putting people into overtime.
So sometimes when we do it, we had guys just coming on shift, and we'd get like one part guy going out. Because usually we did it, it was the backstage guys who would do the gates and stuff that would come out and do that. If we didn't have a third one, we're like, okay, we need Tomorrowland to come in. Because in those days, still half the park were in non-white or blue.
Okay.
You know, we still have Frontierland guys and other things. Yeah. But I mean, there were times people. This is the thing about retreat that I don't like when I follow the online everybody know-it-alls. The tradition that Walt started doing retreat, right?
Gosh.
I can remember. I don't know. It was early. It was probably early in my first few months when they said, "Go take the flag down." I'm like, what? They said the flag's still up. The park was closed.
Yeah, when the park was closed at 6 o'clock. Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
But I was on Graveyard. It had still been up there. Nobody had taken it down.
Oh, whoops!
It was lit though, right?
It was lit. Yeah. And I just went by myself. American flag over that shoulder, California.
Well, I remember doing some of that too. You're one person that had it.
And that wasn't uncommon. We didn't do flag retreat all the time. And we didn't do it with the band. 99% of the time it was done to a recording.
Somebody somewhere
started a rumor.
No. Somebody somewhere came up with the idea to make it a little bit of a show.
No, I don't have a problem with that. But I'm just saying that all these people who think this is the way
it's been all the time
been done.
Well, I remember when a lot of that transition was coming in, and I made the comment that when we did the flag retreat, it was the band has their show going on, whether it was the college band or whether it was the Disneyland band. They have their thing on. And then, like Greg said, especially during winter, it was almost always a recording because the band had already gone home by that point.
Well, if the park closed at 6, the place is a ghost town at 4:30.
Well, I'm talking about when we started moving to the 8 o'clock.
Since I've worked here, when I worked here, it never closed at 6. It might have closed at 8 because swing shift we would get partly some APs and the park would be open. I don't think they were still closing at 6, maybe 8.
Probably not.
But they were still open. They were 7 days a week. I never got to enjoy the 2 days of closure.
But when we did the retreat, it was, and Greg made the comment about it earlier right after we were watching it. The band goes out, does their whole little showpiece, blah, 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 blah. And then we were there. We walked up, brought the colors down, folded them, walked out, and then the band continued all their little song and dance. And there was always this big thing, well, we want to make this a show. And I go, we're not show people. We're security. We're going out there to collect the colors. That's our job. We're not supposed to be doing a song and dance out there. And then they started getting more and more of this whole song and dance
quite
show
honestly,
routine.
Sometimes I would have to pull teeth, beg, and even get a supervisor to tell a guy, you're doing retreat. Nobody wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you have to actually get quote-unquote trained to do it.
I won't say nobody, but, it's not that people don't mind folding the flag. It's the on stage, everybody's staring at you.
Everybody's watching you, yes.
For like today's F-up. And it wasn't uncommon. We would get complaints at City Hall, usually from a Marine, that something in our ceremony was done incorrect.
But that was the whole thing. We would, and when we finished and we would march out, we went to the first available exit, which was right there next to where the Disneyana shop. Back then it was the old bank building, Bank of America. But we went to the first available gate. We were out of there. We were gone.
Well,
we didn't have the band and everybody else following.
We would queue up at the curb right across from the train station.
Or right in front of the train station, across the street from the flagpole.
Yes.
Yes.
But down. We wouldn't start up and have to walk
Correct.
down.
We'd be down at the street
in the gutter,
level.
if you will.
Yeah.
In the gutter. We started in the gutter. And we basically, when we were ready, we'd look up towards above the bank where the guy would start the music, and we'd pretty much go.
And that was that.
And
we
you give a beat or two, and then we would say left, right, and we'd walk up, do our thing, pull it down. They'd play some music, spin right back around, make a little turn, and just head for that restroom area. Just keep going.
That was it. We were out of there. But it makes the whole song is dancing. And I think I timed it out once. It is about 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes.
No, it's not that long.
We weren't there that long.
15 minutes.
So?
15, 20 tops. Now, I've seen Disney World do it, or Magic Kingdom, and even in the rain, and they always seem to find a vet, and they were giving the flag to the vet.
Not only flag, but I know they would find someone and honor them somehow.
Yeah.
Call them out.
Well,
They participated in the retreat, though, somehow.
They did do that with us for a while, too.
Anyways, moving on. So we've spent basically the evening in California Adventure. We've only been on one attraction.
Yeah. We had OG.
Soarin'.
OG Soarin' again.
Yeah.
Originally,
not the CGI version.
OG Soarin'.
Which I was highly disappointed. I saw it for the first time a few weeks ago.
Disappointed in Soarin' Over the World.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole flow of the show didn't work well for me. The CGI stuff.
The music's terrible.
Stood out. And the Star Wars reboots or redos by George Lucas. You know how you can tell they're not real people. They kind of walk.
Oh yeah, Taj Mahal.
Taj Mahal. You see them walk. It just, I'm like, I don't know why they bothered to do that.
Because the Taj Mahal is certainly not going to give Disney permission to fly over there.
Well, no, I mean,
site.
why they redid the show? Nothing about
the
this show.
It's a tomb.
Yeah, it is a tomb, but I didn't realize it was sacred.
It's considered one of the modern wonders of the world, isn't it?
I know.
Ancient wonders.
I heard it was a lot cleaner in the Disney film.
It was a lot cleaner than that.
There's an Army pilot I follow on TikTok that was there this week.
Right.
Didn't look too bad.
We've walked basically around the whole park. First, it was
we're circling around looking for an agreement to find a place to eat.
Yeah, this has been and we couldn't pre-order because Richard had a substantial discount on food, so you couldn't do the app pre-order.
We didn't have to wait that long.
Luckily, that's probably the shortest lines have been food, though we did stop by Flo's, and it looked like it might be kind of slow. They had like one cashier taking 2 lines, I think.
Yeah, that was a long line for one cashier to be running.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So we ended up, I don't even know what the place is called, the pasta place over in
Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta.
There you go.
It should be called Pizza Mau.
Yes. With the surfboard
and the McDonald's is right next to that.
Right.
Yeah.
No Spider-Man or Guardians. That's a question from the Esquire. No.
We have not been on
we're not going to do web slingers. We're not doing web slinger rides.
Well, if it's a really short line, I've never been on it.
You've never been on it?
If we go by it, we'll try it. Guardians. Guardians also, if it's got a short line, because I like Guardians.
I think
it's a better, but
I'd go single rider over at the
Racers.
Now, finally, after all the times I've been on it, I had my tires changed for the first time last week.
You saw the animation.
I've always
got the
had
paint
the car
job
painted, yeah. And I actually thought I liked that better.
Ramon likes it.
I think the effect was kind of cool.
You feel the car jacked up? Yeah.
Little Luigi pops up around the hole. Yeah. I thought it was cool, and I enjoy the ride. But I've never stood in that queue. I've always single ridered. I've never stood in that queue. Not that there's nothing to look at. I mean, it's just the big open queue.
Yeah, and the the place a little busy for a Monday.
Yeah,
We
get
were surprised
it.
at how
School
busy.
ban. When I checked the app about 2 o'clock, it was 60 minutes for Smuggler's Run. And quite honestly, I'm not waiting longer than 10 or 15 for Smuggler's Run. It's not that good. Rise was 70 minutes. Now, we could check the app. I'd be willing to walk over if it was a decent
Rise.
wait. But,
well, what was the quote-unquote hack on how to get onto Rise?
Go late.
Go late?
Just go late.
So, I don't know if I think I might have complained on the last show about this. Yeah, one of the influencers was saying you just, stay late and go get in line like in the last hour or even closer to closing because, they're going to take you anyways. 2 hours before closing, they'd already closed the line off when we were here a couple of weeks
Rise
ago.
is still 60. Smugglers is 45.
60's not bad.
Yeah.
For Rise.
Now, some people might remember I was just here Friday, scouting trip. I put out a post. I was on a scouting trip for tonight.
And did you go on Rise?
I did go on Rise.
How long was the wait?
It said an hour. It took an hour.
Wait.
But like Mansion said, 45 minutes. It took like 30. Pirates said like 25 minutes. It took like 15. So
you were on a scouting trip here last week?
I was here on Friday.
So you were looking for a place to do the show that would be your way out? Okay.
I was just here enjoying time in the park. And
I was going to say, it took us what? We were all going, well, is this a good spot? Is that a good spot? Is this a good spot?
I think
I ate food and wine food.
The last show I bitched about, Smuggler would be a better experience if it was more like Star Tours, where it took you wherever it wanted, not you participating. And they should not allow little princesses who are crying and whining and don't want to be in flying, but the dad did. There should be some way to filter that out. Like, the employees should just be told, don't put,
push the edit button.
Or how about this?
Have an override?
The inputs do nothing.
Yeah, you can mess with it.
You think you're flying, you're doing great.
Like driving Toad,
Yeah.
I would enjoy that more. And I was worried. They put me in the right seat. Finally, got in the right seat. I've been on the left seat before, I think with you guys, the first time. And the guy kept saying, remember, down is up and up is down. I'm like, I got to think backwards. And I got in there, and it worked exactly the way I use a joystick on all my old games, exactly how I scroll on a computer. Push forward, it went down. Pull back, it just like an SR-71 simulator.
Yeah.
So I don't know what all the backwards
kids game these days. When they push the thing up, it doesn't go down. The look goes up. Push up to look up. Pull down to look down.
That's weird.
That is weird. I've always
not
found
flying.
That
It's just it is weird. I can't.
I remember the one I had way back in the day. I had Microsoft Simulator, and that was an alternative that you could set it up that way.
Yeah.
It's like,
on the Mac,
why?
You have an alternative, what they call natural, which to me is backwards, and it's the same thing with the mouse pad. It's backwards.
Yeah.
When you say natural, when I do this, my screen goes with me. But if you put natural and you do this, it goes the opposite way.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
What else do you want to bag on?
Did you want to walk around with the live going?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Because I'm not. Yeah, everybody's got to carry something. We got this guy. We need to.
Mickey's is closed. Mickey's Runaway Railway.
Really? It was only 45 minutes earlier. What do you mean? Is it down?
We got fireworks tonight, right?
It just says closed. Oh, would that be under entertainment?
Our battery life
should be. Yeah, if we have fireworks, they'll close down the attraction.
Don't even get me going. I'm trying to get through that parking fireworks down Main Street. That's just.
Hey, when I was here Friday night, we got.
Did you do my hack?
No, we got out of Smuggler's Run at 9:20.
Yeah.
Fantasmic's full blown going.
Yeah.
We're just hustling our ass through New Orleans Square, trying to get past Adventureland and down to the floodgate before fireworks start.
Now I thought somebody said they got rid of some of the steps or something over there.
They did. I got through there really fast. The viewing areas for Fantasmic is now.
So I mean, those viewing areas were right in front of the
French Market.
Well, I mean, but the control guys were. There used to be.
They're up above the apartment now.
Totally.
Well, they've always had that station there. They should still have the directors and the other control board down on the first wall right there in front of Cafe Orleans.
Cafe Orleans.
Yeah.
But that's where the steps were, right? So they smoothed that out.
They got rid of those steps. I have not seen it. Really quick. I have not seen it since the walls were up.
Expected it to be more like it used to be, and then we got in front of the mansion. It's still a step down.
Yeah.
There's still the higher level. It's just not one big slope.
But there's a path now, and everyone stands behind rope instead of standing in the viewing areas. So you can book right through New Orleans while things going on. There's a big fat wide path.
So while it's going on, they've got ropes up to allow you out.
Yes. Big area. Here, look, like this hole.
Yeah.
That's all for you to walk.
I see.
So people are roped off in here and here.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. During the day when it's not going on, it's not obvious.
Like they're going to show it, like you can't see it from there.
That's what I'm saying. We need to put a switcher on so that we can switch to your phone there.
So the next time we actually do a podcast from home, we will do it, stream it. I'll have a camera up on my face finally. You guys have your cameras, and we'll stream it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next time
works for me. So once you get up there and check see if we have any more viewers.
It's still one. Just Matt. Thanks, Matt.
Think it's just Matt? No, did he tell you that on there? 7?
32. 3 and 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up to 3 viewers.
We got 3 people.
I'm disappointed that the third person didn't give us a thumb up.
Hey, so
that better not be the Esquire.
So whoever's watching,
hi.
Send me a message on Twitter. Send MiceCast so I know who it is. Here, wait, Matt. You have 3. Thanks, Matt. All right. So I want to know who the 2 mystery guests are. So yeah,
mystery.
Matt was the one that did not give the thumbs up.
Oh, jeez.
But
I remember that the next time I'm watching.
At least he's giving us real-time feedback.
Yeah, there you go. It'd be interesting to see whether or not one of the other 2 were MiceCast fans or they got notified from the American Landscape page.
They're expecting travel advice.
Yeah.
Who are these yokels?
Okay, our travel advice is don't come to Disneyland. There's too many people here already.
Yeah. And they're not leaving.
Go to Florida. Walt Disney World wants you.
So we kind of just walked by and didn't do anything, but I did see you had a ticket for Mike. But talk to the camera. Mike can hear you. Hi.
I had a ticket for what?
You had a ticket for food and wine.
I did. I still do.
I saw you had it. It fell out of the case when you're putting stuff
brought
up.
it with you?
Yeah, because I have to take home 2 Mickey Snickers macaroons. We didn't finish the little tabs when we were here.
How has it been? Because we we're looking at food restaurants.
Like this?
Yeah.
So we've used 4 of them.
You got it tied to something?
Here's a little. Oh, and you can get a little book, a little passport. They'll stamp your visits if you want them to.
Oh yeah.
I remember really enjoying the food and wine in Florida. That was the one big 10-day trip.
That has the descriptions of what's what.
That I went with. God, who was that? Chris.
Big D.
Big D, and we shared a room with. I can't remember his name. No, that kid that's huge. Jimmy.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy.
Because he signed us in, and we said he could stay in our room for free. And Jimmy says, "Should I bring an air mattress?" And Chris and I were like, "Sure," because there's only 2 beds in the room, right?
Jimmy lives in Florida now.
Does he?
Yeah.
And I felt sorry so far for him. I picked him up in my 328.
You made him sit in the back? Did you make him sit in the back?
No. But when he got in the front seat, we put it all the way back. He sat, and I swear his knees were almost in his chest.
They got to do the old police academy. Rip the front seat out so they can sit in the back to get there comfortably.
I knew the kid was big, tall, I didn't think he was that big, It's like, but I felt sorry for him.
So, to answer your question about this, this costs $59.
Okay.
And you get 8 tear-off tabs.
Okay. So does that equate to any discount?
Yes.
Okay.
He gets the right thing. You get the right thing.
So if you're not smart, you might as well just go buy them individually.
Correct, because you can still pay cash.
Yeah.
But like one of the stands has a.
Well, actually, you can't pay cash.
Well, I was going to say,
The park is cashless.
Okay.
not entirely.
But you don't need to use one of these to buy the food from the stand.
These wonderful sodas that we had, I had to go down to the shawarma place to get them because they were cash only here at the catering truck.
The whole park's not cash only?
Well, not the catering truck. They were cash only.
Well, for instance, Knott's Berry Farm is cash only. I mean, no cash.
No cash whatsoever.
I thought Disney was cashless also.
No, if it's money, we'll take it.
Come on, that's
yeah,
I
it
swear
doesn't
I saw
matter.
a sign somewhere, even here, that said they're
It says
cashless.
we
that's their mantra.
encourage cashless payment, and we have all the little signs on what type of things we
So you
use.
walked all the way over into Adventure Palace or whatever?
It's just down here over at the Hyperion Theater.
It's by the theater.
At the Hyperion Theater.
Oh, well, there's one called Shawarma that's
all the way inside over by Dr. Strange.
Or whatever.
Avengers Campus. Adventureland's the other part.
He calls it Galaxy Quest, so what do you expect?
I call it Galaxy. I call it Galaxy Land.
Star Wars Land for me.
I'm trying to find you an example of something that I tried. So I can tell you how much of a. So anyway, you get 8 tabs for $59. Quick math tells you what that $7-ish each, right? So like,
and they got $10, $12 items in there too.
Yes. So there was a barbecue beef brisket in one place.
Oh, that sounds good.
It was like $9.
That sounds
so
wonderful.
tab it's discounted. There was a
one of the wife and daughter bought one of those through the Chinese New Year one. They didn't use them all. There was something with like a hot dog in it, and like some kind of like, I don't know, not a waffle, but something. There was like a little corn dog or hot dog. It was actually kind of good.
So actually, that barbecue beef brisket they were always out of it. We stopped by that stand twice. Sorry, drinks only. So we went to this other place that had
they just fuck you with the drag.
Yeah,
that's right.
It was
Potterkin Eiffels.
grilled top sirloin with a chimichurri sauce and mashed potatoes, $9. Tasty. Of course, the booze, which is also very good, not included.
Of course.
And the desserts are like $6.50. So you're actually kind of taking a hit if you use
Just
thing for dessert,
I want to
which
say
I'm going to be doing anyway. But
the first time I did a food and wine here when they first started it, most of it was contained back between the Mexican restaurant and the Chinese restaurant.
They're all
a bunch of little booths back
There's 2
there.
stands here.
Yeah, I know.
And a number of the restaurants too, because I was just making the comment that they had, was it Michelob Ultra over here at Award Wieners? I have not seen it yet. The last restaurant that I can think of at Disneyland that doesn't have booze in it is the Tomorrowland Terrace. And I'm told they're supposed to have it now.
Wait, there's booze in Disneyland?
Oh yeah, all over the place.
Well, I knew
what? When did that? I knew Galaxy's Edge. I knew Olga's was the first domino to fall. But now they're selling beer and spirits. And
over at
that you can walk around with. Because the Olga's at least it's contained. You can't go out with.
Don't know about walking around with. They have it. I want to say that you can because they have booze over at Docking Bay 7, which is across from Olga's.
They do?
There's booze there?
I thought there was booze there.
I don't think so.
What about outside Galaxy's Edge?
What is it? Inside Pirates.
Blue Bayou.
Blue Bayou has it.
Has Blue Bayou always had booze though?
No, they just had it. That was the pandemic. Yeah.
But that's a sit down. You can't walk out with it.
Right.
Because I know the Magic Kingdom introduced, I think, beer at Beauty and the Beast restaurant, whatever the thing's called.
Beer, yes.
Yeah.
But I thought the folks in Magic Kingdom were kind of containing it to a very specialized area.
Well, last time I was here, I had my little apricot freaking super tasty margarita.
Where did you get that?
I'll take you. It's right there. It's that little alcove just before you get to Avengers Campus.
Okay. Delicious. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
The PIM.
No, not PIM.
No.
It's a food and wine.
It's a little.
Oh my gosh.
Multi-activity photo spot location there. It's right behind the.
I got it. See, now you got me.
Carthay Circle.
I have to read to you.
Okay, I only asked because we were talking about margaritas. Greg was saying he'd like to get a good margarita. I wouldn't mind getting a good margarita. Of course, we're both at Disneyland, so we'll just have to see what we have.
Let me start with $15.
Okay.
That's problem number one.
Okay, I think
That's not a problem.
I think that's the price of a regular margarita over there, too. A Rita's Margaritas.
The hold on, completely lost my train of thought. Damn it!
Let me get.
I was finishing it, and I'm heading out the gate, the exit. Lady's like, "Excuse
Can't
me,
take
sir.
it out.
Finish it. Can't let you out of the park without finishing
Right.
it."
That's right.
Okay, so let's get into how blasé Adventureland is over here in California.
Avengers Campus.
Come on, dude.
So the Avengers Land.
Can't call it a land.
No, you can't.
Wait,
so
before you get started, cross your fingers because I want to read this.
I know where.
Apricot tequila colada, reposado tequila, Aperol, apricot puree, coconut cream, and orange and lime juices garnished with the lime wheel. It was so damn sweet.
Did you have your pinky up while you were
I did not. It was served in a plastic cup. Can't do pinky when it's in a plastic cup.
Oh, believe me, I know someone that can.
Okay.
So, and that's with a diet soda.
The bottle of Diet Coke.
Let's spray it all over the place.
For the audio-only listeners who might be hearing this later,
Yeah, make sure that thing's still recording.
Richard was demonstrating
How you can.
Lift the pinky up while drinking a plastic bottle of Coca-Cola.
I don't know how many times in Vegas he wants to get prime rib, and we've
I
been in
love
some
prime
of the dumpiest places where it's probably not even prime meat.
There's some places in Vegas that got some good.
Oh, I know, but not everybody that sells prime rib are actually serving you prime meat.
No, it's not.
It could be select.
Or it's just called a
rump roast,
rib roast.
Rib roast.
You know, usually once the end, and that's I think what I would. I tend to like it more than that. But we've been into some places that this is not the place I would go for prime rib. But he gets prime rib, and he has to get some wine with it.
You gotta have some wine.
And
Cabernet.
It's like, you know, Mr. Wine Expert is
Did you spit it first?
his pinky's going up.
Yeah, you gotta sniff the aroma.
You
I usually just
swirl and spit.
You don't spit. You only spit if you drink a different wine.
I stick with the house wines.
I've seen the tasting guys. They're
Yes, you were tasting
they
and
don't
spitting.
even drink.
Yeah.
Anyways, move on to Adventureland campus.
Avengers Campus. Jeez.
So
He's doing it to piss you off. You know that, right?
I know, but he's confusing the whole issue. Everybody's gonna think that we're talking about the Jungle Cruise.
no,
here.
they won't, because once I describe the sheer audacity of poor planning here. So the first time I saw this area, I did not enter from what I would consider the entry to the land. We came in, I believe, my wife and I, through Cars Land. Now, Cars Land is a very defined space. You know when you're in Cars Land. What?
Matt sent a picture from Vegas. Tony Roma's prime rib, $8.99.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that the one downtown?
Downtown.
That one. Wait a second. That one. Where is that?
I don't know. It looks like downtown.
It's in like.
Yeah, but we went to the one place that was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah.
This is where we stopped for the
moved
restroom
because
when we
they
drove
closed it.
back from Vegas last time.
Oh, that's
I recognize these round windows.
Okay. So
I peed there. I know that place.
So I asked my wife. I'm like, well,
Our three viewers might not be having fun. But
what's this place? Are we in Adventures
Campus.
whatever it is? And then she's like, yeah. I'm like, this is pretty dull. I'm like, what's in this building? She goes, I don't think there's anything in there. I'm like, that big building with the spaceship on it, there's nothing in there?
Quinjet.
And she's like, no. I think the characters just stand around on
that's recently with sports.
So anyways, I'm like, okay. And I thought, well, I'll have to enter this from the main entrance to the land and see if I get a different impression. So, like, we did that tonight, and I did that with Karen also, and I'm like, how do I know I'm in the land? And I'm, like, looking for a sign, and then I look over where they're having people, like, a picture spot, whatever they call those, picture spot, I guess.
Photo pass.
And then I realized the photo pass people are covering up the sign to Adventure Campus. So you don't even know you're in there. And so first thing you see is the side of a building, and you don't even know what it's for.
Well, it says Start Industries.
Yeah, behind some trees when you look through the leaves.
Forget that there's a big giant
Circle.
arc reactor
in the ground. I know.
I didn't even notice. I saw something there in the ground. I didn't catch it.
It's a big arc reactor.
Because
it's supposed to be powering the whole campus.
Oh, that was the
That's
deal.
the legend.
So Pym blew that up to
That's
make it
not
big
Pym.
enough?
No,
that's Tony Stark.
But he didn't make one that large, did he?
Yes, he did. The original one was that big.
Oh, no.
No, I thought it was his chest.
That was the miniaturized one. The original one was in that big room. That's what he blew up in the first movie to kill off.
Well, if it was that big, anyways, I didn't catch on that. But I showed you something you didn't know, which was
yes, I did not know that. That was pretty cool.
This little sewage dump that made the tree big. But you see the side of the building, and then I realized that's where Spider-Man gets thrown around on the side. But you can only see him at certain times of the day.
Right.
He's a hoity-toity, snooty, shy guy that likes
audio animatronic. You can't see it flying at night, so why do it at night?
Why not? There's lights up there. Anyways.
Put him in a Tron suit. He let him.
There's nothing. When you walk in that land, there's really nothing that says, come see me. Literally, you walk in, you see the
you're
side of
absolutely,
the building.
because if you're walking down that path, right, you turn and look, the weenie is the toy store.
Yeah.
Now, if you're coming from this side, Tower is your weenie. You head towards Tower, and then the land opens up from Tower.
Yeah.
You go, but they're not part of the same land.
But
yes, they are.
Yeah, he said earlier that the tower is not included in Adventure
Yes,
Camp.
It is.
Yes, I said it was.
No, he said it was not.
It is.
It is. You're saying it is.
It is. They put a line in the ground so you can tell when you leave back lot and now you're on Adventure Camp.
Yes.
There's a line drawn in the sand.
There's a line drawn in the ground.
You have to show that line.
It's called the Kirby Crackle. I'll show it to you when we're done.
Kirby Crackle.
It is.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's called the Kirby Crackle because
okay, tell me.
The artist Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, they made Spider-Man. They made all these.
Yeah.
So it's a style he would use to do different frames.
When they break up the frame and the
comic, yes.
Okay.
But if you're coming in from Cars Land,
now
you're looking at Pym's restaurant or the restrooms.
Well, it depends what angle, but there's no sign at all that tells you you've entered the land.
From Cars Land, you see the backside of the Quinjet.
Yeah.
I would think that would be your weenie.
Oh, that's true.
You see like a Hummer or whatever that thing is sitting in the middle of the road.
It's out there. It's not always out there.
Oh, I've never seen it not be out there. And there's no sign on that side that says where you're coming into.
That's the old strategic reserve.
And if you come in from the tower, there's no sign that you're going into Adventure Land either.
Kirby Crackle.
Yeah. I love subtleties, but sometimes you can get really too subtle.
Besides, you're looking at the tower. The Tivian collection, which is part of the Marvel Universe. That's your sign that you're entering the Marvel Universe and the Avengers campus.
Well, perhaps.
No, perhaps. It's the MCU.
I guess if you're into the MCU, but I'm so used to like Disneyland. When you go into Tomorrowland, when you go into Adventureland, when you're going through the castle where you are.
Land, right?
Here, Cars Land, exactly where you are. You used to know exactly where you were in the Hollywood backlot, and now they don't call it that.
I would say yes and no. Yes, you know where you are at Disneyland. It's very well accepted. Yes, you would know where you are because you've been there your entire life. This is all something new. So as you get used to it, it'll become more and more obvious as you go into it.
Well, see, this is like tasting something. I remember when I was very younger than I should have been drinking any alcoholic beverage.
No.
That my buddy says it's an acquired beer, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this. It's an acquired taste. I don't want to acquire a taste. I want to pick it up. I like it, or I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't drink coffee. I've tried it. I've tried to acquire the taste because my wife loves coffee, wants to sit at the coffee shop and shoot shit and all that.
I love coffee.
And I remember when you hated coffee.
Love the smell of it, just couldn't take the handle taste. But
I don't like the smell. I've tried macchiato. I've tried all these different twists and turns, and it still smells and tastes like the water that gathers in the edge of a curb and a gutter.
Corona tastes that way to me. You mean Dos Equis? That tastes
there's some
or
limited,
Heineken. Those are really
there's some limited beer, but in general, I don't like it. I prefer more hard liquor. But still, I don't want to acquire a taste. I shouldn't have to think about where I am. I should walk into that place and see something that pulls me in that says, "Oh, Spider-Man's right there." since that is the anchor attraction, right?
I guess so. Well, yeah. It's a new one. It's a new one for the area. There's a guy named John Miller. He's one of the viewers.
Okay, I don't know.
But I'm saying,
well, John, if you're watching, tell us who you are and why you're here. Well, hey, if it's a new listener or watcher, maybe we don't know who he is. Let us know.
AR Disney fan. Northeast Arkansas. So the AR is probably Arkansas, right?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
But,
welcome to Arkansas.
And again, we can talk about, like, the weenies that take you down Main Street. You have a castle to go to.
Yeah.
You go in, Tomorrowland used to have a weenie at the end. Now they put
the big radar thing he does.
The thing that blocks that. They put the
Orbitron.
They put the weenie right in your face instead of drawing.
Oh
you,
yeah.
Fast Orbiter.
Yeah, that's for Orbiter. I remember. A mutual
you could
friend
almost say Frontierland doesn't have a weenie, but you could say seeing the ship.
It used to be the boat. Yeah.
Well, if they're there, they could be out and about, and you wouldn't see it there. Yeah. But you have a big sign that says Frontierland, and from the hub, it's telling you to come this way. Adventureland, a big sign says come this way.
I told you about the poor soul I had back in the day when I was still in outdoor vending. I was working the ice cream wagon on the hub, and this is in the day when the park closed at 6. And about 3:30 in the afternoon, this guy comes walking up to me at the ice cream wagon in the hub. I have been here and I've covered every inch of Disneyland, which first thing in my mind, we've only been open for 5 hours. You cannot have covered Disneyland in that much time. And he goes, but I keep seeing people going in these other places, and he's pointing to the different lands out there. Is there anything more to see in there? He spent his entire day on Main Street.
Well, good for him.
It's like the stories of people who go to Florida looking for something at a Universal Studios.
I follow this guy.
They're in some park in Walt Disney World. They look for Harry Potter.
I follow this guy, and he does the thing about, and I used to work at the park. And he puts his name tag up. He's got this big beard, and it's one of these ones. Yeah, you've seen it. It's one of these ones that drive me crazy because it's reversed. Mirror your frickin' video. So not everything's backwards. It's just an annoyance.
Or you just just use the back cameras and have no idea what the frame looks like.
But it's so easy to do.
I know.
But he said he actually had to call a supervisor because the guy insisted he was wrong, that Harry Potter's land was here somewhere.
Looks like video is frozen, but audio is fine. So
Richard's going to go see.
Low battery. Low power mode.
Oh, that's why. Low power mode. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we must have sucked a lot of battery power.
Okay, hang on. I have.
You got backup power?
I do have backup power. Because
I didn't expect to use my camera for this. So
yeah, I know.
On my phone.
Neither did I. I have juice.
Aren't those all battery packs?
Yeah, but I don't have the.
You don't have a cable?
I have a cable for the green one. So Richard here.
So is this USB micro or USB?
It's USB A, and there's lightning on the
USB C.
No, it's called lightning. And then hit the little button on the side of the green stick on the green cube. Little button that'll
turn it on.
Fire it up. We have little blue lights.
Yep.
Go.
So video will probably start up.
So now say okay, acknowledge a low power mode, or dismiss it somehow.
Hey, there we are. Wave to everybody. Yeah, there we are.
Okay. So I just think it's a poorly planned land, and quite frankly, even the front of that attraction doesn't really say anything to me.
I wonder how
long it's been doing that.
Back. He says we're back. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Matt.
Yes, thank you very much for letting us know that.
I can tell. Thanks.
Yeah.
And even seeing that attraction in the front, nothing really. I understand it's like an industrial building.
It does kind of hide.
You talking about web slingers?
Yeah. Nothing really says come see me. Come ride me.
Not especially if you're coming off the main drag.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. If you're coming from this direction, might. But that's the front of the ride.
Yeah, but I mean, it's nothing about the facade says come see me.
It kind of tucks in there with nothing up above saying this is where you want to be. Kind of like you go to Radiator Spring Racers. Yeah, you're going down in this kind of little box canyon that's kind of hidden from everything, but you got this big mountain in front of you. Yeah. You go to any of the dark rides at Disneyland. Yeah, you might go through something to get, but there's something out in the facade that I understand what he's saying. It just looks like a brick building.
Yeah, it does.
Which is supposed to be the design of it all. It's supposed to be converted Stark warehouse.
I understand that point, but it's some.
But I understand what you're saying.
There should have been either like a big Stark sign, you know.
Well, there are a few big Stark signs.
Nothing that really says "come right." Anyways, and then the only merchandise available in the land is a kiddie store.
Oh, you can buy your little
the web store where you
go. You can also buy the little spiders.
Yeah,
right? You buy the little robot spiders.
Yeah. And that's something I've really never seen in the parks before, where they've got someone like really pushing that thing to buy out in front and playing with it. Yeah, it's not. It's like a carnival park.
Well, they do that with the droids over at the Droid Depot too.
I've never seen anybody out in front. I've seen people doing theirs, but I've never seen an employee.
Which they're not supposed to do. Yeah, but no, they've taken the droids around to different areas throughout.
So funny. Where do they still do the meet and greet with Darth Vader? Is it still Tomorrowland?
Yeah. Yeah. No, if you go to Galaxy's Edge, you get First Order.
The thing that's funny is she's got two lightsabers in one hand by the bowl, or the light part. This person that's going to meet Darth Vader, doing a video, and she's holding. I'm like, okay, good thing they're not real, right? But have you heard about the price drop at the Star Wars Hotel?
No.
I've heard about the price drop, and they've less capacity. Like they do, like dining, only one dining. You know, because you're on a cruise, right?
Right.
So instead of 2 dinners, down to 1.
Well, they don't have anybody on it. So.
Yeah. So they'll need 2 dinners.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big fat failure if they don't make some adjustments.
And they're canceling sailings.
Are there any ports of call?
We got Batu.
Batu.
In the back of a box truck.
I know.
Excuse me. A themed box truck. I'm sure it's themed.
You know, I'd have to look at the map again. I'm thinking, couldn't they have built this in a different location where you?
Well, no, they want. It's Galaxy's Edge in Florida. Is it in the studios?
Right.
So it makes sense for the Star Wars cruise ship to pull into a Star Wars land.
No, I get that, but couldn't the hotel have been built close enough where they could have airlocked them? You know, through a tunnel or something where you got.
Yeah, but you know, it's not Star Trek where they just beam you down.
No,
beam
like
you
an
up.
airlock. You know, your ship in a room does something.
Lands?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
kind of like the reverse of Rise.
Yeah,
reverse of Rise, where you're in the hangar, get the ship, and you come out on.
This last time on Rise, I watched the back of the shuttle.
Did you? I've never done that before.
No, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because as he's going into the thing, you could see all the stormtroopers pouring out.
Yeah.
So once you end up walking out the.
Karen's telling me, stand forward. I hear some stuff going on behind me, and I'm like, there's a whole other world going on back here. I never looked back there before.
Yeah, if you're looking forward, you see out, right? And
Yeah.
you see the screens of the fighter people talking, right?
Yeah.
But all the shit they're talking about, if you turn around, it's taking place behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
It was pretty cool. I got to say, I was impressed with that attraction. There was a few points I thought, you know, now they're just showing off.
There's shit already broken.
Doesn't surprise me.
What?
There's shit already. Okay, you've written it. You've written it.
Yes.
So at the end.
Once. So.
Okay. Well, it's not spoilers.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if every nuance will stand out.
Okay. Just before you drop and, you know, take your escape pod down, right? Kylo Ren catches you, right? He's there on an animatronic, and he's grabbing you with the Force. Your thing's going on, and then the wall opens up, it gets blasted, and a piece of ship comes out, and he releases you, and you drop, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about so far,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So the ride I went on Friday, that animatronic was broken. The piece was down. You know, the piece that comes down and knocks him out was already down.
Okay.
So you're sitting there, and he comes up in a ship outside. He's on the screen outside in a ship, trying to force grab you.
So they planned for potentially being down,
maybe,
on breaking,
or you know, a spacing issues going on, and they can't let you show up and have
reset.
There's a reset time, but he's out there in a spaceship trying to grab you, and then someone else shoots him. and the spaceship goes away and lets go of you. Then you go in your.
Well, that's kind of cool. Because I have seen videos online where some certain effects aren't working right, or on the runaway train with the Mickey runaway train where their faces are saying, I think showing like the Microsoft logo or something about
blue screen of death.
Yeah,
projected on their face.
There's some weird thing going on because the projector's not working correctly. But
it sounds like a Squid Game.
I like Rise, but in that the part where the ATPs or is that AT-ATs,
whatever,
and they're just like throwing you around. At some point, I felt like there's no good reason for this other than to show off the ride system. They could easily go, oh, you got back here, go here. Let's just keep moving around and disorient, because it's a little disorienting too, I think.
Jeff's watching, Jeff Mitchell.
Oh, awesome, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Our local artist friend here in Anaheim, Jeff Mitchell Studios, the Museum of Make Believe, good stuff. Big supporter of the show, both shows actually. So that's a good thing. Yeah, so that's my thing with the Adventures Camp. I'm just not impressed, and I haven't seen the ride yet. So
when they released the idea and the concept for the thing, my thought was, really, because it seemed to be set up almost like a Toontown thing, where it's a place to go to meet people. It's a place to go to meet characters. Remember, Toontown was set up.
Yeah.
I know it was tied in with Roger Rabbit, and oh no, the Toons have been living behind Disneyland all this time, right?
Right.
But Roger didn't open originally with the land.
Not with the land. The land opened up, and Roger opened up like about 5 months.
Okay.
4 or 5 months.
But the buildings,
the houses,
all
the
like houses are mini. Yes, they're all.
And a lot of it's based on the movie.
Toontown looks like Roger Rabbit.
Right.
Yes, but that was the concept, right? And so this is the same thing, right? Because before Avengers Campus, you wanted to meet a Marvel character, you met them out front of off the page here.
Yeah,
they're hanging out around here, right? So that now you go in there.
You still do get Spider-Man and Captain America.
The real good merchandise is like a pop-up shop in the old You Want to Be a Millionaire building.
Stage 17.
Yes. Yeah. But I'm not talking about merch. I'm talking about meeting characters.
No, but I mean, just like they don't even have it all contained. Even
you're spilling out.
They're not contained.
When we walked through there looking for food, right? Well, from one place to the other, we saw 2 characters there. A very tall Black Widow.
Yeah.
I mean, like she was almost as tall as me. And
And Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange is going on, and Thor was talking to people. So it's cool if that's your thing, which is fine. I just, I think we're gonna put a ride. We're gonna rip out Bugs Land because it's old news, and here's a place for people to meet their favorite Marvel characters.
And for all the talk about, you said I missed the thing on the ground that's powering it, and the Stark stuff. Spider-Man isn't real, at least the way I've seen the movies, tied in, like meshed in with Stark.
No, because Sony owned them. Sony still owns them.
Still.
Yeah, but in the storyline,
got a three movie deal.
You look at the Spider-Man movies that came out, Homecoming, Far From Home.
No Way Home.
Happened. But in those movies, you see Tony Stark kind of bringing Peter Parker out on the whole thing, and Peter Parker inherits basically all the Stark technology.
Don't forget, he showed up in Civil War.
Yeah, he showed up in Civil War, but I mean, with Far From Home, he gets Edith. I still like that, Edith.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's like a mishmash. And then you got Pym's stuff next to it with the restaurant.
Spider-Man is like the most recognized Marvel character.
Really? I think above Iron Man.
Iron Man, Iron Man because of the Marvel movies.
I would have to agree with
Iron Man is considered secondary. That's why they made an Iron Man movie, because they couldn't get Spider-Man.
Well, I do remember Jon Favreau saying they had no idea if this was going to work, if it was going to be popular, and well, I agree. Growing up,
I think Fantastic Four is the other Marvel property.
To be quite honest, I don't know if I really paid very close attention. There was, what was the Superman cartoons when we were kids?
Justice League.
Then there was a Spider-Man. Fantastic Four never did anything for me. The early movies were so-so. Yes, I would say I knew Spider-Man not very well, but well enough. Yeah, I'm not sure I knew Iron Man, but what I'm thinking is today, though, after all the movies have come out, you've got Captain America, you've got all these other ones that seem like they're equally as large as Spider-Man.
I would say
by modern standards of all the movies.
By modern standards, yeah, and to a certain extent, yeah, you're talking about star power, Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. compared to Tom Holland.
I don't know who the latest one is.
What, Tom Holland and Spider-Man?
They keep changing them. Well, 3 of them.
Well, because Sony keeps going back to that well because it makes them money, right?
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
seriously, how many Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans did make? 3? Now he's out. Now there's other guys in.
And I saw the first 2. I don't think I saw anything beyond that. So I didn't realize until the Homecoming that not all of them had the same kind of Spidey powers. I grew up, Spider-Man, it came right at him, right?
Yeah.
Well, and then they make comments to each other. Oh, you shoot it right at it? Oh, yeah. One had a mechanical
he was
thing or something.
Scientist, right? He'd invented something to.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And then the third one did what?
With the Andrew Garfield was stuff that was Oz. What's the name of the company? Oscorp technology, and then the third one with Homecoming and all that, similar, but Peter Parker was making that type of stuff up.
Yeah, only the Tobey Maguire one was it biology,
like the cartoon.
Yeah. But the other 2 guys, it was science, right? It was
the newest one.
He's also in Stark technology.
Stark technology, yeah.
But he was doing this before he knew Stark. He was already doing Spider-Man shit before Stark.
But he didn't have the web.
He didn't do any swinging around before Stark?
No, he climbed on walls and
I don't know. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, see, something doesn't
because
sound right here.
Because he had.
Okay, don't put any frog DNA in here.
No, he basically had
I gotta clue him in because
I know he's.
All right.
This may not be the time and place.
You don't want me to clue him in?
Not yet.
Okay. Sorry.
We don't want him to walk off screen and say "fuck you guys."
They already know I'm going to say "fuck you guys."
Right
and the horses you rode in.
A little bit of an inside thing right at the moment, but yeah. So I got really kind of tired of all the superhero movies.
I
couldn't keep track of all the side stuff and which
same.
order,
Well, see, you got to get Disney Plus because they have all the Marvel movies in the correct chronological order.
Yes, you can list them. You can run the playlist. You can run.
Ask my daughter too, and she would tell.
But I haven't seen Madness. I haven't seen Multiverse of Madness.
Which one?
Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
That was an okay one.
I haven't seen.
Is that the one where they?
I don't know. I haven't seen
back into like the Kung Fu people, and they were.
No, I saw that was Shang-Chi. I saw that.
Okay, that one.
Multiverse of Madness. Did you see?
I haven't seen Wakanda Forever.
Did you see WandaVision?
I did see WandaVision.
Okay,
and I watched Black Widow.
Multiverse of Madness.
I had to choke down the vial in the back of my throat with WandaVision, and I gave up after 20 or 30 minutes.
What? WandaVision, really?
It was stupid.
It was fun.
It was
stupid.
You had to watch it to be able to understand how the show goes.
You had to commit to it. You're right.
Yeah.
You know, like I do in script writing, there's certain things that are considered how you hook, how you do all this, and when it's supposed to happen. I don't want the hook to be in the 3rd episode. And the 1st episode I thought was just stupid. And and Karen thought the same thing, and then my daughter made her go back and watch it, and then they finished it. And then maybe I saw the one because it was after WandaVision, and the same character did the same bullshit through that whole movie that my wife said she did through the whole series, which was whine about her kids.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Whine about the kids. Yeah.
Anyway, so
she whined about her kids.
I'm out of touch with Marvel because, like I said, I didn't watch Moon Knight. I didn't watch
Moon Knight.
Well, now I'm having a problem with. Okay, we got Doctor Strange, right?
Yeah.
Multiverses and all this. Well, now they kind of just, if you, the latest Guardians of the Galaxy, now there's another guy who knows all like the multiverses or something. I'm like,
Quantumania, I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, that's what I haven't seen.
I haven't seen
that. That opens to me like this big hole with what Doctor Strange knows. And quite honestly, I don't find Doctor Strange's powers to be all that impressive. I don't know. I like the actor. Yeah. Great voice, great delivery, works good in the robe and does all that, but nothing about his. I mean, when Disney first bought Marvel, I was going down the list of all these properties, and there's some really obscure, weird. I forgot one that was like, they should do this one. It's like 4 women, like not Amazon women, but it was like they weren't hookers, but it was really.
But you wish they were.
Birds of Prey.
And I thought, now that would be a decent.
But Birds of Prey was DC.
Yeah, it is.
But
it's still a good movie.
The thing, Guardians is a perfect example. That's an off-the-wall series of comics but it was well adapted to screen, and they have the right people to play the parts, and they have a screen chemistry that you're in on the fun.
Well, see, my favorite Marvels are the Marvels that don't take themselves seriously.
Correct.
Deadpool.
Yes.
Which when it first came out, I'm like, what the hell do I want to watch this for?
Oh my gosh!
Have you seen the trailer for the third one now?
No.
So hold on. I first Deadpool. They announced Deadpool. I'm like, what the hell's a Deadpool? Then I saw a commercial. I'm like, what do I want to see this for? Then I saw a little behind the scenes how they made the opening sequence.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've got to see this. Yeah. That opening sequence is the best thing I think I've ever seen.
Where he's directed by some dumbass.
Yeah, but he says, I've only got 8 bullets or whatever he's got. And he's counting and the whole, just the animation, the cinematography, all that put together.
Where he jumps into the car.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have one more left. You're going to have to share.
They don't take themselves seriously. Yes. Make jokes about what they couldn't get any more X-Men.
Yes, yes.
So Ant-Man. Again, they don't take themselves too seriously, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes. The rest of the MCU became, especially with Tony Stark's like going to the government, casting out the whole fight.
Civil War. Yeah, so when Age of Ultron, not Age of Ultron, but the Thanos thing, the whole Endgame, when that was it, I'm like, okay, I don't need to see anymore.
Well, quite frankly, when I saw that, I'm like, I have nothing against girl power and all that, but I felt like I was being shoved down my throat with a few of these. You got to make sure these girls get their time. You got this going on, and just some of the interactions just didn't make any sense to me. But
victim of its own success, right?
Yeah.
Gets overbloated.
Could be.
The new trailer, the new teaser, it's not really a trailer, the new teaser has Ryan Reynolds looking at the camera, talking to the camera, just, I wasn't really sure if they wanted to do a third one. And they show all these little scenes of him going out and having this little, what do you want to say, his little yogi thing where he's trying to meditate, figure out his script. And then as he's talking, it just nothing came to me. And suddenly you see Hugh Jackman walking across the back. He goes,
I've seen that one.
Hugh, you want to do Wolverine again? Sure, okay. And then Ryan Reynolds just looks right back at the camera and starts smiling.
Yes.
They kind of did those for the second one. And they had Stan Lee, I want to say he was like painting something, totally obscure stuff that had nothing to do with the movie and wasn't in the movie, but it was a way to give you an idea that they're coming back.
Well, he did his whole Bob does the Happy Tree, the painting.
Bob Ross,
thank you. He did his whole Bob Ross teaser too. So
and again, Ant-Man's one of my favorites. Though I thought Quantumania. Now I'm like, God, you're almost suffering from the whole Marvel tentpoles, giant movies, the whole CGI world you're living in, and it just Karen and I were both like,
too much.
Getting past the human side of it and just playing with the technology.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, that's what introduced this. And not only are they in the quantum realm, but there's possible multi-universes. And like, well, again, shouldn't our Dr. Wizard guy,
do the Doctor Strange chance again?
Jazz hands.
Don't forget the fingers.
Yeah.
Those aren't spirit fingers.
Those aren't.
That's a guilty pleasure.
Did you drop the stick? We had to burn it.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, I like the first one. I like the first one. Bring It On. I didn't care for any of the others.
You know, those are movies where
Don't admit you
they'll
watched
never live up to the first one.
No,
So,
it was that capturing the epitome of catching.
have you ever
lightning.
seen FU? Because they parody their cheer camp, and they're watching Bring It On, and they're all quoting it. And it's going on. But the premise here is two football jocks who are like, they're banging everything in the school, and they don't want to go to the summer camp where they're going to get their balls busted. They're like, wait, we could become cheerleaders. Right? So one of them's sister is a cheerleader, so they go to her for help. It's so contrived and corny that it's kind of funny. In the end credits, he's trying to say all these variations, like I could smoke more pole than you and I'd still be straight. And you hear little beep and he says, what, I can't say smoke pole? You know? So then he tries a different version. They do like 20 or 30 different versions. Yeah.
Like Bad Bosses, Horrible Bosses.
Oh, yeah.
There's another movie. Those, I love them. So, yeah, that's, I don't know. Yeah, because, again, like I say, you go to Cars Land, you know you're in Cars Land. Cars Land is the best thing I've seen Disney
But
do.
it's because it's tucked in the middle of things, right? It's a path. Rich is you gonna check? Are we still on?
I'm gonna check.
I think Matt would have texted me.
We're still running.
Well, yeah, we got power now, so we should be good.
Is it still 3, 4? How many eyeballs?
It's all blocked up. I got something here.
Don't worry about it.
Karen.
Old lady's texting you.
Yeah. Who knows? But, you know, well, Galaxy's Quest, or Galaxy Land, Star Wars Land, whatever the hell the place is called, I was impressed with the way it looked. I was, except for there's a few areas that I think are dead areas.
Yep.
But in general, the land is done very well. And when you're in there, you really got to look hard to see other parts of the park.
Yes.
And from outside of it, you really got to concentrate to see that there's something else going on back there. But I was underwhelmed when it opened by the one attraction. Now there's 2 attractions. And the better of the 2 attractions, again, if you were to walk by and you're saying, oh, I know there's this great giant new attraction.
Yeah, nope, yeah, you don't get nothing.
Now, I understand theme-wise, they're at a secret base. Yeah, they've done it pretty well because if you don't know where to look, I got to say, though, I was impressed by the exit of the ride. You know, you go inside, and most of the attraction is inside.
Yep.
And then you end up outside, and, of course, you look down, there's no track. I'm impressed by the track system, or track list system, whatever you want to call it.
Still 50 minutes, by the way.
But, you know, if you come in from Bear Country, Critter Country, and you pass the attraction, you say you do know what's there. If you stay to the right, that's a very know-nothing, boring, nothing going on.
There's a spaceship sitting there.
Well, you end up with this building that I think is a break room. So they're covered. It's just a round building.
That's before you get the round. There's 2 space.
Well, there's the 2 spaceships. Yeah, but nothing. I mean, sometimes Chewie's standing there.
But that's to give you the clue that you're at the secret base.
Sure.
And
but they're not covered very well for
and to pull back the curtain a little bit. You're right. It's a break room back there.
But as you're cruising that way, then you get to there's a bunch of broken droids. You can buy your drink, your Coke or whatever. There's another thing. Karen ran off to use the can.
Get a thermal detonator?
No, walked over there and it's closed. And it's 2 hours before the park's closing.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't even buy. It's not like, I don't want to make another bucket of popcorn that maybe we don't sell. It's a freaking Coke can I couldn't get. No, but I couldn't get that the blue drink. Could have got that junk, but couldn't get a Coke.
I thought so, right?
No, and it is weird. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, we were talking during dinner about outdoor vending and how it used to be one department that's kind of got different things split off to different things. And the comment I made is, okay, when I was in outdoor vending, there were certain rules you're supposed to do. Rule number 1 is the popcorn wagon at the hub is always operating when the park is open. Period. If you have one person in the park, you will have popcorn in that wagon. That was an absolute. And there were certain other things that you would keep, you kept things available and open for guests to come through. And as soon as they did the division, and suddenly a restaurant, in this case Plaza Inn, has that popcorn light on the hub, it will close 2 or 3 hours before the park does at times.
Because the restaurant's closed, and they're closing their staff. The people that got to cash them out, all that stuff.
But there was a sense of the atmosphere that was created having the popcorn wagon on Main Street. And
you can even get popcorn. There was always the Town Square one would usually open too. You could get popcorn on the way out.
That was seasonal.
Oh, okay. But back to Galaxy's Quest. No.
Avengers Campus?
I love that movie though. So. No. The Star Wars Land.
Galaxy's Edge.
You go in there.
Galaxy Land.
And this is something I've noticed. I'm sure this is a victim of COVID. A lot of restaurants have cut back their menu, and I noticed it after, because we went pre-COVID the first time. And where the Ronto wrap is, I swear there was more than 2 things on that menu.
No, there's only...
The Ronto wrap has always been Ronto wrap.
Just 2 things?
Just a few things.
The vegetarian version and the meat version.
And there's no Coke, there's no sodas.
No sodas there, no.
They serve drinks now.
They have drinks, but no sodas.
No, they have sodas. I got a soda from there.
Oh, did they? That's something that...
I looked on the online to pre-order it, and I didn't see.
There's Coke there. I guarantee I just drank a Coke from there Friday.
And maybe I don't want to read the description of what the food is. And so maybe
you won't like sausage, never what's in it.
Yeah.
Listen to assholes.
But when we ate at the docking bay the first time, I think we got ribs. Or a couple of
ribs.
Ribs. They don't have ribs on the menu.
And I had like a pot roast.
Yeah.
They
have a chicken. They have a chicken strip.
I forgot what I got, but this green mash that's like a mashed potato kind of thing.
Green eggs and ham.
It can't be too outlandish because people won't eat it.
Well, see, there's the thing. I think especially with children and how picky children can be, and some adults.
I know a couple.
Yeah, I do too. I think some of the menus. It's like I remember not that long ago, 6 months ago, I heard the food guy in KFI talking to Bill Handel. Bill Handel's a big Disneyland fan. The food guy is too. And he was saying, Disneyland doesn't have anything but hamburgers and hot dogs. And I'm like yelling at the radio. He's like, and they never have. I'm like, wait. Main Street, Carnation Plaza, the old egg house. You get to the Plaza Inn and what used to be the Plaza Pavilion. So far, there's not a hot dog in sight or a hamburger.
Corn dog, though, next to Plaza Inn, corn dog.
Sure.
Corn dog cart, yeah.
But that's, in the bigger picture, that's relatively new. And then, of course, what was Aunt Jemima's, it turned into
Riverville Terrace.
Riverville Terrace.
That's table service now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even when it wasn't,
never had hamburgers or hot dogs
style.
No, definitely you get a hamburgers.
Yeah. Tomorrowland Terrace. Hungry Bear Restaurant.
And Fantasyland, Pinocchio Place.
Briar Rose.
Oh, it's called Briar Rose now. It used to be called Village House, right?
Or not, Red Rose Tavern. Red Rose Tavern.
But it was Village House.
It was Village House.
Well, I have to say, I've never been a fan.
It used to be the Village Diner, but nobody liked it when we kept the nickname in it, BD.
I've never cared for Disneyland hamburgers in my life. I've never thought they're very good. Now, when I used to work at Knott's, and, at one point they were rated the best food in a theme park in the country. Hamburgers were juicy. Come over to Disneyland, they were dry. They were,
started out as a restaurant.
Could be.
Right?
They're no longer up to the standard they used to be. But
because running a restaurant's expensive.
Now you go and you look at the app. Like you go to the PIM one, that giant chicken with the tiny little bun to play on the whole PIM thing looks interesting. But when you read some of the descriptions. Who knows? Maybe some of the stuff I usually eat has some of that stuff mixed in. You just, you don't know. If it was just handed to me, I would just eat it. I'd be polite. But when I'm making it myself or somebody, I'm going to look at a menu. I'm going to look for something I'm more comfortable with, like flows maybe, fried chicken,
and hamburgers. And that's about it.
Oh, they
now.
did have a hamburger over there. There was a chicken. I think there was a chicken thing too.
No, they don't have meatloaf. They have fried chicken
and hamburgers.
Meatloaf is for someone.
They don't have they used to have a roast there too.
Meatloaf is not.
You got to go to Plaza Inn for a pot roast now.
Meatloaf is not a sophisticated palate thing. I mean, that's like you have nothing better.
Still tastes good.
You have nothing better to make you throw a bunch of meat in there.
It's food.
It's not supposed to be sophisticated. It flows.
Shepherd's pie is peasant food.
Well, I've seen shepherd's pie made 100 different ways, and they still call it shepherd pie, and I question it sometimes. But it's, I love a good grilled cheese, and occasionally we'll go to Polly's, and they've got a mega grilled cheese. It's like, but I have a hard time paying for grilled cheese when I know I can make it 5 minutes at home. But occasionally I'll have one out. But
throw a couple strips of bacon in there.
There are certain things, and meatloaf would be one. I'm not a big meatloaf fan, but if someone made meatloaf and I was at their house, I'd eat it. I would never go to a restaurant to order meatloaf or chicken pot pie or any of these things that I find pedestrian.
Yeah, pedestrian.
Though some people would say fried chicken's pedestrian. I love fried chicken. So it's brought up on country, farm.
They got rid of their popcorn chicken.
No, not the one by me then.
Oh, well, I went to order it the other day, and they said, we don't have it anymore.
They don't have it any. They were just out. Oh.
No, she said
no longer on the menu.
No longer on the menu.
Maybe it's an Anna slime thing. I know. The Huntington store, we were there 2 weeks ago. Now, who knows? Maybe just in the last 2 weeks. But anyways, when you look around, it seems like the food has changed here to, it's like they're trying to show off. They can do all these different type of menu items.
I think they're trying
almost ad nauseum.
Yeah, I think this started a whole big trend about 15, 20 years ago where they were trying to theme the food to the different areas.
Well,
this is when we had the
Star Wars is a good example because that green mash.
Yeah.
I looked at it a couple times and
it still tasted good. It still tasted like mashed potatoes, right?
I don't actually think it was potato, but it tasted pretty good. Yeah, it was decent. I have to admit.
I remember,
but I wanted the rib. I remember thinking the
sticky rib. The sticky rib was good.
Yeah,
wasn't too bad.
When they changed the Tahitian Terrace into that whole Aladdin theming, and they had some good stuff there. They had a teriyaki chicken and a teriyaki steak there when it was a sit-down restaurant. But then they had all this Lebanese cuisine food over there. It's like,
I don't think I've ever had Lebanese.
Lots of goat milk, goat cheese.
And I mean, sometimes, again, if someone served me something, I tried it versus knowing what was in it first.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't eat horse's ass.
I gotta say, when I was at the LA County Fair,
I draw it at the tongue.
I was at the LA County Fair, and they had goat's milk that you could buy, that little half pint of goat's milk. I tried some of that. I tried some of the goat cheese. They're both exactly the same. You know how goats smell? That's how it tastes too.
What? So you didn't like the goat? I'm not a milk fan anyway.
I didn't care for goat's milk or goat cheese.
What?
I'm trying to tell you. You keep saying goat. All I can think of is
greatest of all time.
No.
It definitely is not the greatest.
No. You keep saying goat, and I think of the. How can I put this? What people in the Middle East end up with when there's no women around.
Okay.
Goats by day. That's where we talked about goats by day at the beginning.
Okay.
You went down a dark.
Oh my gosh. We're talking about Johnny Carson, the great,
yes,
goats by day.
Okay, but think of it this way: grass-fed versus corn-fed. Certain game that is a little more gamey. Like in ducks versus whatever.
Goose also.
I like duck. I didn't care for that.
Some of I like things let's say a little less gamey. So it's goat milk. Doesn't taste like cow milk. Is it like sweeter? Is it duller?
To me, it's a little gamey.
Like a gamey thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what? This is Don't My Cigar Lounge. These guys will try things that I just won't touch. There is, and I'm trying to think of the name. It's a pretty big egg.
Ostrich. Emu.
No, that's that big. The thing is, when you eat the egg, you also are eating a partially formed bird.
Oh yeah. I've seen that.
You're talking about balut. Those are duck eggs.
Yes. And
fermented duck
I'm
eggs.
sorry, I couldn't probably get past the first bite. One guy said, "Oh man, that beef was crunchy."
No.
Dude, that's a Filipino thing, balut. And as we're cruising up to the Philippines, people talk about Could eat balloon like hell no.
No.
I'm not touching any of that.
No.
You okay? Well,
and getting into all this, it's been,
hour and 33 minutes.
It was bad before, and then now the latest hack is just stand out. Even the cast members will tell you this. Just go stand over there out of the way, just go in your app and keep hitting, and something will pop up. Which makes me think then either people aren't showing up or they
have a walk-up standby line. They should be able to join.
Well, yeah, but you have to join it, but there has to be room in the.
They put you on.
We tried that. They're like, go to the app. That girl will help you if you don't have the app. You got to join the queue. We said join queue. There says no room in the queue. Join queue. No, whatever the answer is.
Oh.
You have to keep.
Then you keep moving down until you find the manger in the back of the queue that will take you.
You're supposed to be able to walk up and join the walk-up queue, and they'll give you return time. Come back in 30 minutes. Oh, we got time to ride Smoker's Run. You're in line. Come back to Koga's.
Now, granted, I think I was talking to you about this. Back in the day, if you wanted to go to the Golden Horseshoe Review, what you would do, as soon as you got here, you'd walk over there and get in a little line. Maybe by 10 o'clock, all the tickets for the day were gone. But they only ran shows to maybe, 3, 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And at night, it was just closed. Now, with all these virtual queues and reservation, I mean, I kind of just like the old way. I remember going, the first time I wanted to go to Cinderella's Castle, we just walked up to the castle early in the morning, anything open. We've got a 2:15. I wanted a 5. I'll take the 2:15. That's the only thing open.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
Now, and you were talking about your trip to Florida the same way, trying to get last-minute reservations. And here, unlike Florida, which will still take a reservation 2 minutes before the park closes.
They'll even take reservation for time slots after the park closes.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
Well, it's awesome, but it seems like an operational nightmare.
It is, because we would do that when Wolfgang Puck was here, and they would have reservations for an hour after the park closes, and we'd have to have a security group stay on the entertainment route to allow guests, and then you couldn't just push them out. You had to let them go out at their pace.
Yeah, I know. And they want to stop, take pictures and all that.
Exactly.
And then okay. So let's say that's not a big deal. Okay, you commit. You're willing to do this because it's a great guest experience. You commit to having people up down the line. But since the park doesn't close 2 days a week and it doesn't close early, your only maintenance time is when since first to last guest is out. It's hard to start maintenance when you've got people walking through.
And I was going to bring that part up, and also delivery of merchandise and other food, bringing all that stuff out.
Yeah.
And for better or worse, the way California Adventure is designed, you remember in the day when...
So worse, basically.
It is worse. You remember in the day at Disneyland, we called it Clear to the Hub, because we just had people on Main Street, and people would start coming in.
Yeah.
Okay, California Adventure, the way it's designed, is an all or nothing. We can't open up a part and leave another part available for our vehicles to drive to.
Everybody kind of gets in sight or in view.
Everything gets in view of everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't have, quote unquote, a hub to stop people at. And
what they used to call the hub is so far into the park, where the two bridges go. I remember they're like, well, this is the hub of DCA.
No,
not really.
There isn't one. I always kind of looked at Carthay Circle as quote unquote, but it still doesn't work.
I'm going back to the day when there is no Carthay Circle.
Yes, it was the sun.
The
big sun.
The big didn't work after
Sun Plaza,
a year or so.
And the wave.
Yeah.
The wave pool.
Yeah. I forget about those. I'm trying to forget these
in
memories.
some ways now what we consider questionable or bad, I'm like, I kind of miss
Carlson's been open 10 years.
What has?
Carlson's been open 10 years.
Been that long?
Yeah.
2012,
and
right?
Lassiter was canceled how long after that?
Just before pandemic.
Was it then? But I still think it's one of the more beautiful lands. And there's a lot to do. And a couple of them are kiddie rides.
It's what happens.
But I like Mater's.
What you get when you get a truly creative dude in charge of shit.
Yeah. And was very insistent on.
And he had the pull to make sure it happened the way he wanted.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think Galaxy's Edge is done well. I don't agree with the setting they put it in. I think a lot of more people would have been happy with the original.
Real Star Wars.
Yeah. Because I was, you were trying to tell me who some of these characters were, since I don't watch every offshoot cartoon and everything to know. I mean, do I really need to know there's this guy talking to Chewie? Okay. But it'd be nice to be in on what's going on.
But I ask my kids all the time, when it comes to Star Wars and when it comes to Marvel, I just go to my son and my daughter especially. She's up on all the crap, and it's like, okay, who is this? Well, okay, thank you very much. Because she has watched all the shows.
Well, my daughter
watched all the cartoons.
We watched this together.
That's even worse. I don't remember.
Well, she took me to Twilight. I had to go to one of the Twilight.
I'm
I fell
sorry.
asleep.
I had a good nap,
Might have been the second one. I don't know.
Did you make a lot of noise in the theater?
What's that?
Did you make a lot of noise in the theater? Interrupted other people?
I have no idea. I just oh my God. But I know when we saw the second or third Pirates, we saw it in Phoenix, and we made this like last minute. Hey, let's go to Phoenix, and I think we're gonna go to the drive all the way. Oh, the Montezuma's Castle. I think it was like Karen got home like Friday, like 3:00. You want to go to Phoenix? And we literally just said, yeah, let's go.
That was kind of like our trip
So I've been up all
Grand
day.
Canyon.
We stopped at one rest stop, and we're like, oh, let's go to the movies. 2 or 3. It's the one where they were in the cage and they rolled. You remember that? The second or third?
Third one.
I think it was third.
And probably 20 minutes in,
Deadman's Chest.
I'm just like out. Then, just like the first time I was at Everest, I got there with back problems. Karen's like, "Do you see the Yeti?" And I'm like, "What Yeti?" I passed out, I guess. I still had my camera in my hand. Somehow managed to not drop that because I didn't trust it bouncing around in that little basket thing in the back of the seat. So I had the strap around.
It's almost not worth carrying a SLR anymore, is it?
We've been blocked out.
Go fix it.
Well, here, hand.
I fixed it. It looks like we're running again. I don't know.
Okay. No, it's easier for you to get up than to move the camera because I set the framing nice.
Yeah, well,
get it over here because there's the same exact framing.
Okay, fine.
Anybody saying anything? Are we back up?
Let me see. How about now? We should just kind of wrap up.
We should. We're just babbling at this point. Well, we've been babbling all night, but we're really babbling. Yes. Now I'll reframe it a little bit.
All right, so come have a seat, then we can say goodbye, and we'll wrap it up. Because I think the
we've stretched out our audience.
I think the Zoom. Yeah. I mean, a 2-hour podcast, they can start and stop whenever they want. Is one thing, but
a live stream's a little
having them hang with us for 2-hour live stream is a little bit much.
And we've been talking about all sorts of crap.
Yeah,
I think we're going to live stream again next time we actually record a podcast show.
And the bar is closed. We got to go. The bar is closed.
9:30. All right. So thanks.
Goodbye.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for the three or four of you. Thanks for tuning in. And if get enough subscribers actually on MiceCast, we'll actually stream on MiceCast channel instead of having to piggyback on the American Landscape.
Or we'll have more time to figure out why it really wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't that, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Or we'll just stick here, but we'll see. So hasta luego.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the flip side. I go cut it. Yeah, and I'll cut this. Just hit the red button to cut this off, Greg?
Yeah, I think so.
No, so please wait. Yep.